Hello. Today's a special day because this will be the last video that I do for Jay Slater before the inquest, unless there's some bizarre information that comes out. And so this video, I am just simply appealing to common sense. I don't feel that it takes anybody superior or special training to see the obvious. If we review what was shared with us during the inquest for Jay Slater during the first part, I believe that did a thorough job of exposing that there was a friend of Jay Slater's that felt betrayed in his post. The post referred to something along the lines of, "How could you do this to me after everything I've done for you?" This is just hours before Jay Slater goes missing and is later found dead. So we have a betrayal message. Betrayal often is the motive in crime. Somebody feels betrayed, they get angry, and the result is a homicide. So there is motive. Betrayal is motive. Whether or not anybody took action on it or not, I couldn't tell you, and neither can you. It would take an actual investigation to get to the bottom of it. Does it leave suspicion? Absolutely. Especially when that individual also messaged looking for Jay. And he refused to come home. Jay refused to return. If you think I'm coming home, you must be disabled. So if every holidayer that happens to have some drugs and alcohol in their system, if they end up in a compromised position where they're no longer alive, are you just going to dismiss it because there happens to be illegal substance in their system? Even if there's considerable reasoning. Please don't throw the ball in here by my camera, sweetheart. Even if, and this is real life at my house, so even if there's considerable reason to investigate the death further. So let's get past the, maybe he was on some sort of a psychotic trip from drugs, right? Let's talk about the facts. The facts are also that even though head trauma is consistent with a fall of any kind, severe head trauma doesn't even have to be from a fall. Head trauma is also considered consistent with a fall where you land 6 feet backwards and hit your head on stairs or something solid. Is also, head trauma can be consistent with somebody using a baseball bat or a bottle, such as a Hennessy bottle full of alcohol. So the lack of consistency with a great fall would be the lack of spinal damage, the lack of organs showing extreme damage throughout, the lack of blood in the lung cavity. There's a lot of things that we did not hear about. I'm not saying they're not in the autopsy, but they weren't shared with us on the public side, that would warrant us to really look at that significant inconsistency. So as a person that does have some knowledge, I was trained by the state of Wisconsin, the United States, as a medical technician. I have pretty good knowledge of the body. And in that, spinal compression is often, very often, expected with a major fall from height, depending on how someone lands. Vertebrae are very sensitive. The two right here in the very back of the neck, those are extremely dangerous. I say dangerous. They're highly at risk because there's not a lot protecting that area. So when we have a lack of consistent details with the rest of the injuries to the body, such as there are no signs that we read of broken wrists or elbows or shoulders, which would be expected if somebody is compos mentis, because it is not even a thought, even a infant or even a dog will push forward or push their paws or hands forward and pull back from a fall, right? To try to catch themselves and give some shock absorption there. So those are concerning. What's even more concerning is the friend Haji that was the one that texted about how dare you, Jay, betray me type message, and, you know, after all I've done for you. He's never given an interview to anybody but Mark William Thomas, which everything he said in the interview was then mirrored by Bradley or Brad, and you have two different last names. Interesting. But the thing is Lucy left alone. If you're going by everything you've been shown in the inquest, and I'm sticking to your rules, Lucy left alone. So where did Brandon go? Because Brandon had been with Jay all night. We never heard where Brandon went. And because of that, he will need to testify in this inquest to give an alibi that then needs to be investigated to see if it's legit. Because as far as we know, we have nothing that tells us where Brandon was. Interesting enough, Brandon claims to have met Potter Paper. Well, not Potter Paper, but Aya at Potter Paper's place, his cafe, according to what he has told Mark Williams Thomas, and that is a voice message that you can all hear. Thank you, Rebecca, very much. I really appreciate that. In this, Brandon is the connection as to where Aya was introduced to Jay. Lucy explains she doesn't know how Brandon met Aya, but then she gives in and says a coffee shop. Then when Mark Williams Thomas asked Brandon how he met Aya, he finally gives in and says, in a coffee shop, in a cafe. In America, we call it a coffee shop. Where you guys are from in Tenerife and the UK, you guys call them cafes or cafes. The caf was a marijuana shop, a weed shop, where Ayab was working. That's not hearsay. Ayab said so himself. Now in this, we also have Ayab not registering under his real name for the Airbnb, and it appears to have been booked quite quickly, even though he claims to have went through some hoops and hollers. When you go through to try to verify how he actually booked the Airbnb, it doesn't appear that any of the resources that he claims to have used were even available at that time. So perhaps there may be a connection to Ayab, who frequents Tenerife, Haji, who has family in Tenerife, and what went on in Masca. Ayab had been there before. He spoke of trip before to impress a girl. So when we look at the position that we're in, we have what appears to be a strong motive of betrayal that someone felt, the lack of an alibi for the said individual. A message where he literally messaged the victim looking for him, telling him he better get home. The victim responding, if If you think I'm coming home, you must be disabled. Friends do fall out, and often it is over money, rugs, or other things. Women. If we go back into the night, we start off with Jay at Sugar Reefs. He's with someone that is filming him while he also films himself. He has a bottle of Hennessy. If you go to Sugar Reefs menu, you can validate for yourself that that is 320 pounds, or whatever the money is. It's 320 to get a 3-bottle table. Jay was declined for $320. He then tries half that amount, $160. Maybe somebody said, well, hey, dude, I'll do half and it won't cost you as much. Maybe then it'll go through. Whatever it is, I highly suspect that the denial at around 9, whatever time it is, happened at Sugar Reefs. Ahab puts himself at Sugar Reefs at that time. He also says he was hooking up with that crew quite often. So this is how they became acquaintances. Now, Brandon has no alibi that we know of. Brandon has also sent this betrayal message after Jay's card is denied. After Brandon sends him, get me my 2,000 or 200 tons. So Brandon's not only upset, he's wanting money. And Jay's card's being denied. That's suspicious. I believe, honest to gosh, the lack of any participation from Brandon shows suspicion. He did not search for his friend. He did not hang up posters. He did not advocate on any social media for Jay Slater. He was with Jay Slater, had access to Jay Slater. He had opportunity to do whatever. And he also allegedly had motive. We see very cold behavior when you watch any of the raid footage of Jay Slater, who appears to become more and more intoxicated and under the influence as the night goes on Sunday night at Papagayo Club. The only footage available, even to those such as Mark William Thomas, was through people that had their phones. Even though this was a huge festival, we know there was security camera both inside and outside the clubs. Not only was there no CCTV footage shared, produced from Papagayo's club inside or out, neither was it produced at Sugar Reefs. Now, Jumping Jacks is right next to Sugar Reefs. They're both a club that share one wall, and they both sell Hennessy. What's interesting about Sugar Reefs, it's been alleged strongly and should be investigated, that Haji's family that lives on Tenerife, including his brother, are affiliated directly, have connections to Sugar Reefs. So we have a victim that looks in compos mentis, hardly able to walk, hardly able to hold his head up, dropping his things, and you're seeing Haji during all of the rape videos stand tall and not once lend a helping hand to Jay Slater, whose face is almost hitting the floor. He even does drop to the floor a couple times, and Haji doesn't pay much attention. Actually looks above and beyond as if he does not care. So I don't think there's a lot of love between the two of them. I think Jay is incompetent mentis, can't make decisions on his own. And when he left Papagayo's, it is possible he was kicked out of there for landing on his ass too much and not having anybody to pick him up. And did he just kind of wander aimlessly along down to somewhere else familiar? And did Brandon leave also? Because really, we have no proof of life of Jay after that. Even his own mother said that your geo time-stamped picture doesn't appear that Jay Slater is conscious. When you do lighten that picture, and that's all you need to do, it seriously does appear that Jay is not conscious in that picture. His eyes are closed, his mouth is drawn, relaxed, and they do not show the left side in that footage. Whether it's a still shot or you have a video, why doesn't it show the left side where there was damage to the head? That again is suspicious. Brandon having no alibi, Brandon having a motive. That's also worth investigating to assure that this individual that felt betrayed didn't take revengeful action. It's bad enough that Jay was allegedly way up in the mountains when he couldn't have made his own decisions, you're saying, but yet he could text and do his geolocation. How can you actually be compass mentis enough to send your geolocation and be texting and Snapchatting and having conversations, and yet you're not compass mentis enough to realize you're walking to your death? It's a volcanic island. Even if you made it to the ocean, it's just an ocean. There's not a boat waiting, unless it's the Maruba. However, what's even more concerning is that we have allegedly Josh Forshaw showing up at the inquest with alleged evidence that he claims he deleted, which would have been vital. But without it, we have no evidence that Jay ever was at the B&B with 2 knives in the waistbands of his shorts. We don't have that evidence. For all we know, that could have been Brad, who may have felt defensive. Next, we have the Airbnb video. Never does it show Jay's face. Those are the incorrect shoes. Jay does not wear those kind of shoes. That's been verified through Warren that Jay didn't have that kind of shoe on. You can clearly see what kind of shoe that is. Yeah, same color, same kind of style, but not the same shoe. Now let's go to the witnesses there. Ophelia is not an independent witness. The last thing you want, if you're a tourist place with an Airbnb, is some message out there that you check in, but you don't check out. So she has skin in the game to assure that no matter what, Jay left alive her Airbnb because she's part owner. Then you have 2 gentlemen that claim that Jay asked them both about the bus times. First of all, the bus times are posted in English and Jay can read. Second of all, even if he was still curious, when did he switch into pants? When would Jay have went from shorts to pants unless somebody else took the place of Jay and just asked those two that look kind of like Jay. There are plenty of kids around. The internet can show you about 20 of them that all just magically are there for the NRG and happen to know Brandon and Ab. So even if you're thinking to yourself, well, they'd have to get somebody that even spoke like Jay. All right. Brad was mistaken for Jay by a lot of people, so much so that he explained to Isla, the interviewer, that they pulled the entire search out of Masca and took it back to town. And it turned out that they were all following a lead that led them directly to Brad. Brad's got missing time. He went back to his motel and there he was with magically Josh Forshaw. Problem with this story is that Brad is supposed to be Jay's best friend. Yet he didn't send Brad, Jay did not send Brad any of this information about these knives or all this. And no, it was sent to only Josh. That seems strange also. Questions. Why did Josh not come forward immediately with any of this information but waited weeks? It's almost as if he got pulled into this a little later. I would actually love for an investigator to check on Brad's and Josh Forshaw's flight records to see if they actually were on the same flight. Maybe they were. Maybe they weren't. Without an investigation, you and I will never know. So the damage to Jay's body is significant, but it wouldn't require a fall. It could simply require somebody striking him intensely with a full bottle of Hennessy. And no, the bottle doesn't usually break when it's absolutely full. Do your research or approve an inquest so that we can get the answers. Because we've done our research. We know you can bust open a watermelon without breaking that bottle. Many tests have been done by all kinds of places like Mythbusters and so forth. We do know a Hennessy bottle comes into play because Jay's drinking out of a Hennessy bottle at Sugar Reefs on video. We also hear, in what appears to be Rocky sleeping in the car, them giggling and saying 2 bottles to the head. Looks like he's been shot. Out the window. Why out the window? So I did do some research. I always believe that when they make up a lie, they try to make markers to remind them what the lie is. It just so happens where Jay's actual, you'll need to see this for yourself, memorial is. Hold on. Okay. Well, I'll have to go about it a different way, but we can do it. I find this very interesting. Where Jay is buried, not buried, sorry, his memorial is. They chose that because they said that that's the last place that Jay pinged. Let me show you this. Let's see. This. Can you see it? me see if I can move this over here. And then we'll go in a little bit so you can see it. Do you see this place right here? Do you see what this says? Mil d'Or El Cactus. It's a tourist attraction place. And this is Jay's memorial. They're right next to each other. Was Jay bitten or cut? Was Jay cut by a cactus? Or was Jay cut at Mil d'Or El Cactus? Feel me? So there are questions. It seems so strange because we've all wondered how you would get cut by a cactus, even though you get stuck by a cactus, poked by a cactus. The point is, regardless of how Jay ended up at the bottom of that ravine, we need to start with the facts. And the facts are that in the inquest, you guys did such a thorough job that you exposed what appears to be a strong motive of betrayal with the lack of an alibi for Haji. It's also him asking for his 200 tons back. Also looking for Jay, feeling betrayed, being upset. Again, no alibi. Connections to Ahab. If Jay was kicked out of the Papagayos and he was on his own and he's not with it, he may have stumbled right down there to Sugar Reefs and been followed. I believe that's all I have for this. I could go into 1,000 conspiracy theories. I could break it down for you 1,000 ways. But all you really need to do is keep it simple. Is there a motive? Was there a motive of any of these friends? Did they have access to him? Did they have opportunity? And could they be involved? Because if any of that's true, which I believe you did a thorough job again in the inquest to show that's all true, it warrants more questions. Unless every single holidayer that just happens to have a little bit of rugs in their system and alcohol is not worth your time. Because it certainly shouldn't be dismissed if there's motive, in my humble opinion. I thank you for your time. So that is what I'm sharing to the inquest in a nutshell. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. I'll get this off the board. We'll come back up. I chuffin' hope so. I hope we get the inquest. I'm praying with everything I have, and we're going to pray together. Let's do it right now. Haji going under the bus. I want you to bring your energy together. This is so serious, you guys. I need you. Jay needs you. His family needs you. We pray. As a mom, I pray for the swift justice and truth to be revealed for Jay Slater and his mother, his father, and Zach, his brother. I pray that you open the eyes of those at the inquest that can clearly see motive with betrayal, of pressure to produce money that you don't have, of looking for the person hours before they're dead. Boy, you better get yourself home. I pray that you open the inquest's eyes, all of them, so that they see, why didn't these people, especially Brandon, show up? Because they have too much to risk. This has been a head game. And I pray with all my heart for true justice and truth be revealed. And everything to go in the favor of truth for Jay Slater. In Jesus' name, we pray this. From the bottom of our heart, we ask this. We demand justice for Jay Slater. Amen. And it is finished. So, hey, Dark Angel Holes, Rach won't leave Brad's side. That's been one of the major issues, but if he's properly interviewed, she'll have to. J for justice. Right, Rach. Jay knows we all gave our best. I want to say hats off to every single one of you that has stuck this out with the creators that are out here. For Duncan, yet again. For Wax Unfiltered. For World Entertainment News. For Jan's Views. Even Streamline Entertainment. No Bull. Everybody has put their time in. We all want the truth. We all have stood together. We might have had personal differences here and there, but we stood together for Jay. You, me, Wax, Duncan, everybody. And that shows a lot of strength and character. It also puts a lot of positive energy towards Jay, and I believe that's why his family felt comfortable pressing further, because they have you. They have us. Yes, ACW, prayers are needed. I'm going to be saying a lot of prayers. Every day I'll say my prayer. Prayer for the truth. Right, Mariah? Aw, yeah, please hit like, share, all that. I appreciate it. This channel needs some help, y'all. Because I stay with cases, I guess, so long. And if you remember right, when Jay Slater's case started, we were getting 18,000 views, 20,000 views a video. Now we're lucky if we get 2,000. Because the ones that don't give up stay together. We work hard. But a lot of people lose interest. So when we get a whole 4,000 or 5,000 views on a video nowadays on the Jay Slater case, I'm in shock. I'm like, wow, a lot of more people are still paying attention. So I thank you for being supportive of that. But the algorithm doesn't get what loyalty means, doesn't value the loyalty in that way. They just see it as, well, your channels aren't getting, your videos aren't getting the views you're used to, and so they don't promote us as much. But we're not going to give up. We're going, right? Corster says, it depends on if you stole from Potter. Yeah. Hey, Tilly Scouse Girl, good to see you. Thank you, Mama D, for this. We all love you. I love you too. I truly do. Big up, Mama D, much appreciated. Big up to you, Matt Perney. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. I saw someone slowing down at my house, and they came to almost a stop. They sat there a minute, just about 15 seconds, and stared down my driveway, and then they drove away. Second time that they've done that. And I know the car. They're local. So I'm interested. Corster says, have so many opinions on what happened depending on what the reason was, retaliation, theft. That's not our job right today. Our job is to show a reason for an investigation today. Today, we showed how clearly the inquest proved that there is text messages from Haji. I'm going to have to contact that person and see why they're doing that. It bothers me. They happen to be an attorney, actually, that I know of. And I've not done anything wrong or ever broke the law. Isn't that weird? I'll have to get in touch with her and see why she's... That's so weird, right? I'm a complete law-abiding citizen, so why you stalking my house, but you not giving me no paperwork? Right? Strange. Pinky Pop, yes, Zoe. You have been so kind and supportive too in your work. Yes, and Zoe, thank you, thank you, thank you. Zoe, thank you. Greatly appreciate. I forget if it's not on YouTube. I'm sorry. Courser says, still think it was pre-planned, but while Jay was there, something. Okay. Like I said, we just want to make sure we get this out there and show what we needed to show. I will. It's an attorney, y'all. It's an attorney. I know her. She was my ex-husband's attorney like 25 years ago. She's about 4 foot tall. She wouldn't hurt a fly. But she's stopping in front of my house. I don't know. Maybe they're drawing up papers to sell my house. I don't know. I do rent, so I don't believe in coincidences. Take the phone out and ask her what the fuck she wants with a brick. No. I'll just simply call her on the phone and say, is there something I can help you with? You've been caught on my security cams, like cruising and stopping in front of my house several times. Yes. Zoe, brilliant post on TikTok shows passion you have for Jay. Justice for Jay. That's right. We will never give up. Well, I know, Debbie, that's the goal, but I will let you know if the inquest drops this, there's nowhere else to go with this. And unfortunately, I've had cases like this in true crime. You pray you win, but it's not that often. So you have to really grab the wins and celebrate. Sometimes it can feel like you wasted your time for 2 years on a case like Idaho 4. But you haven't. Your energy was for the good and the intent to help. And the universe appreciates that. I'm fine. I'm one top mama. All right, you guys. Now that we've done our work, if you would like to jump over to our next live, that starts in about 22 minutes, and we would love to have you there. It's going to be about a cuisine. So this is going to be really interesting. We'll find out. We'll find out. I love you guys. To the moon and back. Thank you, Tilly Scouts Girl. I will see you again soon. Pray for justice for Jay. I love you. Always and forever. To the moon and back.